The 1970s were a time of activism and change. Out of the controversy came a little book with a big impact.
Well, the early history of Our Bodies, Ourselves is a wonderful story. A group of women met at one of the early women's liberation conferences in Boston, Massachusetts, and they started talking about the hot health topics of the day. They continued to meet after the conference in the spring of 1969 because they wanted to put together a good doctors list for the Boston area. And they quickly discovered they didn't have that kind of knowledge that would enable them to judge doctors. So they embarked upon this process of self-education. They went to the local Harvard Medical Library. They talked to the doctors that were willing to speak with them and nurses as well. And they started gathering a lot of wonderful information and met in groups and began to share the factual information, adding their own personal stories. They started some community courses, women's health and sexuality courses. And as more and more people wanted to be part of these courses or teach them themselves, they decided to put together some written materials. Eventually it became the first edition in late 1970 called Women in Their Bodies, put out by the New England Free Press. In early 71, the book became known as Our Bodies, Ourselves, and through word of mouth, about 250,000 copies were sold.
It was as if we were just sort of discovering what our needs were as women, and reclaiming or claiming for the first time just a woman-centered view of our bodies, ourselves, and our lives. And it seems so simple and so basic, but it was so profound.
Despite the hunger for the information, Our Bodies, Ourselves faced rigid opposition to its frank and informed discussion of women's health and sexuality.
In the late 70s, under the spearhead of Jerry Falwell, he had written a letter in his newsletter saying the book was obscene trash and it was disgusting and it needed to be banned immediately from all schools and from all libraries and any places the courses was being taught. And so there became a flurry of backlash, throughout the country, really.
Even with attempts to ban the book, Our Bodies, Ourselves has made itself a household name.
Many women have a copy of the original Our Bodies, Ourselves on their bookshelf. Since its first publication 28 years ago, more than 4 million copies have been sold.
Our Bodies, Ourselves, a book by and for women, a comprehensive work containing detailed information from taking care of ourselves to sexual health and fertility to growing older.
It's a radical statement when it was first published nearly 30 years ago. Before then, women had no place really to turn for direct and complete information about how their bodies worked and about their unique needs. Even today, there's probably no more comprehensive single resource like it.
Over the years, they have taken on such hot topics as the right to safe and legal abortions, the dangers of breast implants, the targeting of women by tobacco companies, as well as a wide range of other issues, from sexuality to nutrition to aging. Through their persistence in advocating for women, Our Bodies, Ourselves has made itself an ingrained part of the culture.
Our Bodies, Ourselves. Good book. Oh, you've read it? I own it.
This was it. The last night of summer.
Holy cow. Try not to drool it, okay? If Karen finds out I have this, she'll kill me.
Despite the media attention, the publications remain the core way that Our Bodies, Ourselves seeks to inform and empower women.